Please subscribe to the Broken Battery Podcast on Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, or on Podbean. The following program contains spoilers, strong language, adult topics and ideas, which may not be suitable for children or people who are easily offended. All opinions of the show should be treated as such. Broken Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. This is Travis with the Broken Battery Pop Culture Podcast, brought to you, as always, by Broken Battery Entertainment. We're beaming directly from sunny Livonia, Michigan, at the Provincial Palace of one Joseph.
Hey, everybody.
A.K.A. the angry Star Wars fan.
Kind of pissed.
Yeah, he's been mad. He's been mad for years. For years. And on the previous show, because this is the first time we've done a two-parter, previous show we talked about...
Previously on Broken Battery.
The prequel trilogy of Star Wars, because it is franchise month. Shared universe month. So we figured part 2 of the Star Wars, because we couldn't fit 9 fucking movies into one show. I don't... It would have been really long, folks. And as charming as we are, we probably didn't want to listen to us that long.
And, you know, let's just face it. People's attention spans are like only about 2 minutes.
Measured in nanoseconds. So we will briefly cover the original trilogy of Star Wars, which was released in 1975, I believe. 75 or 77?
77.
Released in 77 and played out. It's a beautiful story until the early 80s. With
I believe it was 1983 it was over. Right?
Yes,
yeah.
The year I was born. So
you just have like no frame of reference for this, right?
I watched it enough. I think I've seen each movie like 100,000 times. Okay. My brother had all the toys, and I promptly lost them all for him.
Oh, well, that was nice of you.
Well, you know,
what are little brothers for?
I still hear about that shit to this day.
Well, you know.
But anyway.
Those that dwell in the past are doomed to repeat it.
Joe actually ate Chinese food today, and I think that was in the fortune cookie.
No. But I did trim my bushes. It makes my porch look bigger.
Yes, your shrubbery looks quite nice.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. So anyway, we're going to gloss over the original Star Wars trilogy because in my mind, I think it is probably one of the best set of movies ever. And like if they would have just left it alone and not done like prequel movies or sequel movies to it, it would have went down as the best trilogy of all time in my mind.
Yeah, it didn't, you know, like it didn't need to be done, but people wanted it to be done.
Right.
So it needed, you know, so it got done.
And it's kind of like hiring somebody to put an addition on your house and you find out they don't have a building license. They're like, what do you mean?
I would say it'd be even worse is that they don't have a hammer.
They open up their toolbox. There's a bunch of Reese Pieces, a thing of duct tape, and one of those squishable koosh balls that dogs play with.
In case they get stressed out.
Yes, you know, because making movies is hard.
You know, it's kind of hard. But, you know, not in the case of, you know, episode 4, 5, and 6.
Beautiful.
I mean, I'm just going to start off with it was well done. It didn't need much world building or building writing. It just took off. It was, you know, fast paced from the beginning and
told you the story.
It told the story. It got the job done. I mean, realistically, the only thing that I can like complain about the very episode 4 was Luke seemed a little bit whiny.
But then he had teenage angst. Was he 19 or was he 20 in that movie?
I mean, sure.
I don't really know. I know young adult.
Is Google broken again?
Yes, Google's broken. I don't feel like looking at it. So, 4, 5, and 6. And, see, the funny thing about that is they released the special editions years later because they had advanced technology. And I was, everybody was like, oh, cool. Awesome. There's going to be additional 5 minutes of footage in here.
Yeah.
I understand why you got cut out. I understand why you got cut out. I mean, it was neat. It was really neat to see, in episode 4 him talk to Biggs because he mentioned Biggs, his childhood friend on the walking sandbox of a planet, Tatooine.
Yeah.
And you
Or was that Jakku?
Oh my God! Oh, we're gonna cross that bridge when we get there, folks. So anyway, they put all this stuff in there, and they put stuff in the background. Okay, it was kind of neat watching a stormtrooper ride it with Dewback. Isn't it like the Dewbacks were like yes, and you saw like additional Imperial walkers and stuff like that. But the most egregious thing is they didn't need to do it because they. All right, I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person to mention this, okay? But the whole scene with Greedo and Han, I know this is like a nerd banner that people hold up in the air and is like, this will not stand. Over this line, you do not pass.
Well, Han had to shoot first because otherwise he would be dead.
Right, but they did you see the special edition version?
It was stupid.
It was stupid.
They tried to make him look like a good guy.
Yes, he's a criminal. I mean, don't get me wrong. The rebellions are criminals.
He's a scoundrel.
He's a scoundrel. If you're D&D aficionados, he's a rogue.
We won't get into D&D.
We will not get into D&D. Sorry. So anyway, the Greedo thing pissed me off. They put Jabba in there, which they did not need to put Jabba the Hutt in there. And, I mean, like, I saw the original footage that they cut out, and it was some fat guy.
Yeah. And he was Irish.
He was Irish, and he was dressed like he went to a Renaissance festival.
No. Renaissance. Fair.
I half expected him to be holding, like, a bread bowl with soup and a turkey leg in his hand.
It would have been good.
So, anyway, they do that. Empire Strikes Back, the stuff they had in Empire Strikes Back was actually not much. It was very minuscule in Empire Strikes Back because only thing that sticks out in my mind is when Vader is like, send down my shuttle and prepare my Imperial Star.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was cool because that's some cold-blooded shit that he's saying.
Right.
But that's it. No complaint about Empire Strikes Back.
No, they added a couple, like, there was, like, windows in Cloud City and stuff.
Well, it was a longer journey through Cloud City. It was more fleshed out.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
that wasn't bad.
No.
But then they go Return of the Jedi. And this is my second biggest gripe about the...
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking about a creature, Joe.
Oh, I was thinking about something that happens before that.
No.
The musical number.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, yeah, I forgot they added that. It was like a duet with the two aliens.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of put that out of my mind. You know, like you fall and skin your knee as a kid, and you just don't remember doing it, but it's just there.
Yep.
I think that's what happened to me.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, no, it was bad.
Oh, it was super awful. I mean, we get it. Okay, you wanted a good musical number, but I mean,
it wasn't necessary.
It wasn't necessary. This is a gangster's house. He doesn't want to have a stage show like it's Vegas. Tatooine is not Vegas.
Yeah, but it was Jabba's palace.
It was Jabba's palace.
Okay, so it took place in the original one where it was they were just playing music and the Twi'leks were dancing. And
that's fine.
Then she got rancored because she didn't want to get touched by Jabba, and I can't.
Rancor.
She got rancored.
That's a thing now. That's getting worked into the show. Rancor.
Rancored.
Anytime somebody gets to comeuppance that they did not deserve,
they get rancored.
Rancor.
There you go. So yeah. Yeah, they unnecessary. And then now the part that you didn't like, because I thought you were referring to this.
No. I'm glad that you pointed that out. I honestly totally went brain dead on that part because I forgot about it.
Yeah, it's very forgettable. Well, it's not forgettable. It's just awful.
It's awful. You know, you just don't want to acknowledge it. But we did. But I'm talking about the Sarlacc pit. They made it look like a fucking Venus flytrap.
Nah, man, made it look like the thing from Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, it did. Yeah, that's
it was
what
Audrey. It was Audrey too.
It was Audrey too. That's what. Oh my God, they just worked it in. It's connected.
Yeah.
So the Sarlacc shoots its spores into space.
That's
it
right.
goes across the infinite void, lands in the Earth.
Nope. Audrey 2 was a Sarlacc pit.
Yes. I thought the Sarlacc pit in the original version, but not the special version, was so much scarier because it was just a big fucking mouth and it had tendrils come out of it.
Yeah.
This, it just came up like hungry hippos and fucking sucked people in.
I mean, it was. I don't know. that it was not that necessary. Maybe they could have just made the mouth close a little bit better. But,
right.
you know.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, didn't add much besides that as well on Return of the Jedi. I mean, maybe like a little extra footage of them like flying through Endor on those bikes.
No. Right, for sure. Yeah, no, it was. I mean, little things here and there.
The little things
a ship landing in the background. I mean, there wasn't much.
Nothing of note when the Death Star blew up. Spoiler. You saw the explosion ring, which was they must have consulted scientists or physics.
I thought it looked pretty cool.
I thought it looked cool too.
I thought it was like the very when they did the regular edition thing when they did it for that, it was. I thought it was cool then too. So just to add it to that, and then also then they did it after that. So the only thing that was noticeable was now it was Hayden Christensen.
Thank you.
Hayden Christensen. Force Ghost standing there next to Yoda and Obi-Wan.
So tell me something. Why didn't Obi-Wan become Ewan McGregor?
Well. Yeah, I know.
You're telling me this guy killed children, did all stuff, and guess what? I get to be the best version of myself.
Yeah, well,
Well, maybe Obi-Wan thought that was the best version of himself.
Like 71 version or 8. What is it? 100 versions. And,
yeah, exactly.
You get to come back, and that's what you get.
Oh no, this time with extra Jawas. Awesome. But anyway, that's our only gripes about the special edition trilogy.
I have nothing bad to say about the first 3 movies.
No. I grew up with them. They set the stage for so much good stuff, and they took inspiration. And yes, they take inspiration from Akira Kurosawa. The first Star Wars movie, A New Hope, is almost the same plot as Hidden Fortress that Akira Kurosawa did, but he put it in space. Lucas put it in space, put his own spin on it, which was great.
Never saw it.
Oh yeah, that's all right, man. My grandpa used to watch samurai movies all the time. So,
okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna get to the real. I'm gonna put that as my spotlight for this episode.
Okay.
Yes.
I might actually just check it out.
Watch the original. Don't watch the special edition, or do it, but somehow stop it and watch the original part where Han shot first, and then go back to watching the original, just for the background stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, you can watch them on VHS. I mean,
What's a VHS?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we used to watch movies on.
One step up from super real. Yeah. But we're going to talk about the real elephant in the room.
Here we go.
We're going to talk about the Kathleen Kennedy helmed, no plot having, character killing shit fest that is episode 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it right from the jump. We're going to talk about The Force Awakens, which is basically A New Hope 2.0.
Pretty much.
But not as good.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna don't get me wrong. I understand the First Order going to be like, well, they had a good idea making a super weapon. Let's make a super weapon too, but let's put it on a planet.
In a planet.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it sucks in stars. I'm like, okay, look, I like my science fiction. Okay, I do. You're telling me you mega mated an entire fucking sun into this planet, and you. First off, they just fucking wiped out Coruscant.
Well, no, it was like Coruscant and like the
2 other planets.
It was more than that. I think it was like 5 or 6. That when they came out, they destroyed every planet in the core.
Yes,
and
except for I don't like about this the new fucking trilogy. The thing that irks me the most.
Everything.
Well, everything besides that, you got to get clarification by actually going online and shit. They don't explain stuff in house or in the movie or anything.
Oh yeah, no. Recently, I just saw something an article.
They're like, Corellia didn't die. They didn't shoot Corellia. And I'm like, okay, good, because that's a core world.
Yeah, right. Well, they didn't do that because they make ships.
Oh yeah, they do. That's all they do. They really don't take sides. They're like, yeah, we make ships.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, they, I mean, that wasn't the, first part. Like you said, it ends up, you start off, you're in a sand planet, and there's, this time instead of, the step parents getting killed, it's just a loner scavenger kid.
Yes.
Finds a droid. goes to the shady ass city. I mean,
finds an older mentor that it takes him out into the larger universe.
True.
And well, no, you forget one of the main parts is
I mean, I'm going to tell you this right now. There's going to be a lot of this that I forget because it's
forgettable.
It's very forgettable, and like unlike the other movies, even the first three episodes 1, 2, and 3,
way better than the 7, 8, 9.
I've watched those again numerous times.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think that I've watched the other ones more than twice each.
I did not watch the worst of this trilogy, other than the time I saw it in the theater. I'm not going to say its name. I'm only going to say it once in this show. I'm not going to say it right now, but we're going to get there.
Okay.
It's kind of like Voldemort from Harry Potter. You don't say the name.
You just can't say its name.
So anyway, yeah, Force Awakens. So this shit happens. It opens up with them trying to find Luke Skywalker because, let's face it, we wanted to watch the new trilogy to see Luke fuck shit up. Because he, at this time, like if you read Legends or anything like that, you realized, oh my God, Luke's a fully trained Jedi master now.
Yeah, he's badass.
He's a badass.
Right.
And then it's like, Luke Skywalker's missing. I'm like, first off, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yep.
And they're like, oh, well, we got to find the map. Well, okay, so the map is just a fill-in for the Death Star plans in the first one.
Yep.
And then they shoehorn Starkiller plans later on in this movie to make it seem like, oh, this is more robust and amazing and blah.
Yeah.
So whatever. So like you said, they go to a planet. You meet the hotshot Poe Dameron, which is the only serviceable character that was introduced in this trilogy. But
he was all right.
He was okay. I give him... He's on par with the character from Return of the Jedi that was flying the Millennium Falcon with Billy D. Williams.
Nine Noob.
So he's the guy. He's on par with him with me.
He's actually in.
Oh, I know.
He's actually in 7, 8, and 9.
And so is Admiral Akbar, which... I'll get to that. So anyway,
I don't mind Akbar.
I know I loved Akbar. I loved Akbar. Come on, it's a trap. I own a shirt that says it's a trap. It's iconic.
I probably say it more than once a day.
I'll even like do stuff like when I see somebody like grabbing something, I'll be like, it's a snack or some shit like that. So anyway, Force Awakens, the Empire's not around, but the First Order is. Now, you're going to let the First Order just kind of exist after you dealt with cosmic tyranny, whatever.
Well, my other thing, too, is like, so there's the New Republic, and then there's still the Resistance.
Yeah.
So the Resistance is, what are they resisting against? Are they resisting against
They're fighting the power.
The New Republic? Or are they, I mean, because it seemed like they were part of that, but why would they be called the
Resistance?
Why would they be called the Resistance?
Because obviously the First Order did not have control of everything. You got this huge military force that's out in the galaxy, and they didn't explain where they sat with the New Republic. There was no fucking world building. They were going off the coattails like, hey, you know these characters. Now we're introducing these characters.
Right.
That's it.
So apparently then you were supposed to just know that just because R2-D2 and C-3PO and Han Solo... Well, Han Solo wasn't even in it from the beginning.
No, and
nor Chewbacca.
He didn't have his fucking ship.
No, he didn't. Because they escaped on his ship.
Yes.
And they were just like, oh, there's the Millennium Falcon. Everybody clap. Okay.
Yeah. And then she knew how to fly it instantly, okay? There's a lot of things that get thrown out there about Rey, who is the fill-in for Luke Skywalker in this movie, okay? So, Rey's a Mary Sue. I will argue this with anybody. I will fight you on this because...
Right now?
No, I don't want to fight. I don't know if you're a huge Rey
Straight up
fan.
boxing match?
Straight up boxing match.
Right on the front yard?
Bare knuckles.
Let's go.
I'm sorry. Are you
All
a
right,
big
no,
fan?
go ahead. Let's go.
Are you a big fan?
Huh?
Of Rey?
No. Well, I mean, I didn't hate her.
No, I don't hate her either.
I don't
she's a good actress.
Yeah.
And I like the concept that here's a stormtrooper and he defected because you never saw that before. He's like, I can't shoot innocent people. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's right. Something new. Okay, that's something interesting on here. So anyway, these two escape Jakku because, I don't even remember why the First Order was on Jakku trying to find them. But anyway, they escape in the Millennium Falcon. Hijinks ensue. They get into space.
Well, no, that priest was like, I think he was like a Jedi priest or something like that. He had something. He was like a friend of Luke Skywalker.
Oh yeah,
he had the map. He gave it to Poe Dameron, Yeah.
And Poe was there. Yeah, okay, that's what it was. Because I remember Poe was there, and he actually, the only cool thing I remember in this movie is he caught a laser blast with the Force that Kylo Ren did. And
that was actually
cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. I give him credit. And his weird hilted lightsaber, which makes sense. They'd have that. Okay, I'm going to give props on certain things in this movie.
For sure.
So anyway, they escape. They go into space and instantly are found by Chewbacca and Han Solo, they've been looking for the ship for 30 years. They didn't once think to... They like, oh, the transponder went off. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, so, okay, fine.
You just gave up, and now you're on a big freighter.
You're on a big freighter hauling, like, tentacle monsters. Wrathgars, yeah. Tentacle monsters. So, anyway, more bullshit happens there because Han's a scoundrel, and he double-crosses people, and he double-crossed these unsavory characters that were going to give him up to the New Order. The First Order, sorry.
Yes.
Anyway, so then... They go to one of the worst plot devices ever. It was Maz's fucking temple. This like all-knowing alien that's I've been alive for 1,000 years. Never heard of you.
Well.
So anyway, and then they find the fucking Cloud City Anakin's lightsaber there. It fell down a hole into an atmosphere.
I mean, they found it.
They found it. So
that was all explained in the Chuck Wendig novels. Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't explained in the movie. So
right.
You had to find auxiliary.
Which those books were much better.
Well, yeah, probably because somebody knew how to write, unlike the scripts.
Those books were much better.
So anyway, yeah, and then Han joins up. You find out that him and Leia haven't been together, which kind of shits all over Return of the Jedi when they're all sitting there posing with the Ewoks and happy.
Right. Her hair was braided. She was looking all nice.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. Smash. Anyway, yeah, so they join up with the Resistance. Again, we don't know what they're resisting. Obviously, it's the First Order.
They're raging against the machine.
Yes,
the machine is the First Order.
And they're about as ineffective as Rage Against the Machine. The band that rages against the machine, but also signed to a major label, making millions of dollars. But hey, whatever. I'm not calling anybody a hypocrite here.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, so they join up there, and well. Okay, so
it's like now. Well, no. First of all, you have to get into the not lightsaber battle, but so they had to escape that planet. Finn gets his big moment where he's fighting it, and then they keep calling him FN 2187.
Yeah, you're a stormtrooper. That's my slave name.
And and then later on, it's like I caught it right away. Because 2187 was the same thing as the cell block that Leia was held in the first Death Star.
Yep.
And I caught it right away, and this has been like a Movie Web thing because Movie Web has their hand on the pulse of everything, and the pulse is directly up their ass.
I thought it was far away from the pulse,
yes.
Jammed directly up their ass.
It was. So they were like sitting there, and it was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, no shit. That's they did that. So he fought that guy. And then
first time I ever saw a stormtrooper use like a shock baton.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was a cool fight. Yeah. And you think, oh man, Finn's gonna be a Jedi.
Yeah, and then Han does some Indiana Jones shit and just shoots him with the Wookiee bowcaster.
And he never once shot the Wookiee bowcaster. He's like, I like this thing.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford was awesome in this movie, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
He did a great Han Solo, and I think it's because he knows I don't have to ever play this character again, except for maybe one little
Whoa, you're spoiling it.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to save people time on this. So, anyway, so Han, so the First Order attacks the planet with plot devices bar on it, okay? So, anyway, so they all get away. Look, Rey gets captured.
Right.
And they're like, we gotta save her. So I'm like, okay, so Rey's Princess Leia, so you gotta save her from the First Order, like they saved Leia from the Death Star. Right. But it's funny because she uses the fucking Jedi mind trick.
Yeah. No formal training.
No formal fucking training. I'm like, oh, evidently she has Force powers. Interesting.
No.
And oh yeah, but she's not a Mary Sue. And everybody's like, and I actually had an argument with somebody about this. Well, Luke didn't have any training. Well, no, but he didn't understand anything, and Kenobi started him down that path.
Right.
He didn't know, like, hey, I'm not gonna go up to be like, Give me a Slurpee.
Well, he also didn't fight anybody. He just practiced with a drone. Big fucking deal.
Exactly. And, and then when you saw him there, he wasn't lightsaber fighting anybody. He was shooting at him with a gun, and he ran away from the stormtroopers. Like, yeah. So anyway, she tells Daniel Craig to unlock her and let her out of the fucking holding cell after she doesn't fall for Kylo Ren's, look at me, I'm an emo goth kid. I have the 2 coolest fucking parents in the galaxy and a badass uncle, but I'm still a dickhead.
Yeah, he threw temper tantrums too. Which
I actually like that though. It distinguished him from Vader. Vader just be like this, done.
Well,
done.
Yeah, that he would just turn around. He would just like choke somebody, choke him from 4 feet away, and then walk around and tell the next guy in line, "You're in charge."
Apology accepted, Captain Nita. So they go to save her, and this is the same time that they realize they got to destroy Starkiller Base.
Right.
Inside the fucking planet. And, oh my God. I want to deal with an engineer in the Star Wars universe that doesn't have... I mean, they explained it in Rogue One for the old one, that there is one thing you can hit, and it destroys the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. It's like the linchpin of the whole thing.
Exactly.
Everybody's got to have one.
So you made a giant grenade in space. So anyway, Han and crew go to save Rey, as there's also an attack on Starkiller Base to destroy it. Which
you got to have aerial combat.
You got to have
ship to ship,
aerial combat.
Running a trench.
They ran a trench also.
Well, I mean, it was more of a tunnel, but close enough.
Yeah, but I mean, they did a cute, cool, little couple things that J.J. Abrams probably like. Well, how come they just didn't float and start blasting everything? And I'm like, that's actually pretty cool, cool concept. But it's the same fucking story as we saw in 1977.
Yeah. Well, you didn't see it.
I didn't see it. I saw it in the 80s. Well removed. I saw it when I was 3, dude.
Oh, no, I get it. I'm just messing with you.
I know. And then, Han tries to console his son, and his son's an asshole, and he kills one of the best characters ever.
Right.
And then everybody's trying to escape. Now, mind you, I'm glad Chewie shot him.
Yeah.
That's a good friend right there.
For sure.
If I get stabbed to the chest, Joe, I hope you shoot the person.
Well, there was that one story that was basically like, Chewie was the owner and Han was his pet. And if Chewie was responsible and he would have got Han fixed, none of this
would happen. Patent pending. So they're escaping. Starkiller Base is going to blow up because it didn't just blow up like the Death Star. You got to have something dramatic. You got to have the planet ripping apart. I mean, that's fine.
Well, I mean, what else was the planet going to do? I mean, they basically cut it in half.
And they cut it in half and gutted it.
It was being held together by the core of the Starkiller Base.
And how dare you take a character from one of the best video games ever?
What's that?
Force Unleashed.
Oh, well, yeah, they did that, but the other thing too was originally that was supposed to be Luke's name, or it was supposed to be like Anakin Starkiller was the original one.
Yeah, I don't. That doesn't inspire confidence.
So that was another nod to the originals.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because we couldn't have a new story. We couldn't have a new story with the same characters. We had to have a limited story with the old characters, and then build on 3 new characters that you didn't know. And the only one that was worth a shit was Poe Dameron.
And he didn't really get enough screen time.
I didn't hate Rey.
But she's a Mary Sue. I know. The thing is, I think it's worse for Rey because I was indifferent. I didn't give a fuck what she did.
Yeah.
And
but they sure did. They knew each other for all of 10 minutes.
Before I get to the climax of
we didn't get there yet?
Of The Force Awakens. The only cool bad guy that I had seen, I mean, what's Captain Phasma?
Phasma. Captain Phasma.
Yeah, Captain Phasma. Played by Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones. Yeah. Awesome actress. She looked fucking cool. She had reflective armor so blasters don't work on her.
Right.
She was a joke.
Yeah.
They threw her in a dumpster.
Yeah, they threw her in a dumpster, and she had like I saw I had the figure before the movie came out.
And you're like, this is badass.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is really cool.
An actual cool stormtrooper. I never thought I'd see the day.
Well, I mean, all stormtroopers are pretty cool, but what I'm saying is, one with a little bit of character, a little, a panache,
zazz, some zazz,
and they just kind of didn't do much with her.
They shit all over her chrome plating.
Yeah.
And anyway, so they're escaping, and Kylo Ren's got like a hard on for Rey now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did that. Like that.
She tried to interrogate
that full blown lightsaber battle
between her
between an untrained Jedi and a
No, it was Finn first.
Huh? Oh yeah, it was right. Well, yeah. Not only that,
a wounded.
Well, Finn got hurt. Finn got hurt, and then she picked it up, and then all of a sudden she knew what she was doing.
And she kicked his ass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, they're just saying, oh, she's just so powerful
she
just
amazing.
knew what she was doing, and that she could stand up to basically a Dark Lord of the Sith, which was...
They never once called him a Sith, though.
No.
They just... the Knights of Ren, and they didn't elaborate. They were like,
Well, yeah,
of the Knights of Ren, and I'm like, who the fuck are the Knights of Ren?
I don't even think that did they mention the Knights of Ren in the first one?
They mentioned it in the first one, yes.
Oh, okay.
And they also mentioned it a second time in the other movie right after it. I'm not saying the title. I'm going to say the title in a few minutes.
Well, I mean, we're almost there.
Yeah. Okay. So the untrained, I just can do anything out of nowhere. Mary Sue Ray. Defeats Kylo Ren and leaves him, and a chasm opens up.
It's pronounced chasm.
Chasm must be in Seattle. Near Seattle or in Washington. And they get away, and Starkiller Base blows up. That's New Hope 2.0, but I'm not going to give it a higher number than a New Hope because it's not as good as a New Hope.
Yeah.
No world building, no nothing, pisses me off. And you know something? At the very end of the movie, they got the map to go see Luke Skywalker.
Yep.
And it had a great cliffhanger ending. So I'm like, they really just kind of fucking hooked you in for the next movie because you finally see Luke.
Right.
And he looks like crazy hermit Luke,
Yeah,
but he looks like almost regal at the same time.
Absolutely.
And she's holding his lightsaber out to him, and it cuts.
Yep. End scene.
Next movie picks up right where it was.
Well,
no, it didn't. But
it didn't pick up right with Rey and Luke. It picked up with them escaping from the First Order.
No, mind you, they just blew up their super weapon along with a lot of their fleet,
and
but
all their ships were right there.
Yes, all their ships were right there, and they introduced one of the most, I'd say, the second most useless character ever in Star Wars, Rose Tico.
Oh yeah,
awful. Okay, first off, this movie is called The Last Jedi. It is shit. I hate this movie. My brother, who is the ultimate Star Wars fan next to Joe, we went there. It's almost like he just found out that he lost everything in a fucking fire. He's like, I waited this long to see this, and this is the shit that
I felt that way after I saw Episode 7.
Yeah. Well, he kind of just put, he was kind of in denial.
It could get, there was hope for it to get better. Yeah, it could get better.
So anyway, they're attacking. They're all getting away. They're escaping. I'm like, oh, this sounds really familiar. This sounds almost like Hoth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just without the AT-ATs.
Without the cool fucking ground war scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, they're escaping, and Poe does this shit where he's one lone ship, and he's doing something funny. Like he's like, hello, I can hear you. I'm like,
oh, am I on?
Oh, okay. So yeah, they're clowns over there, and you're doing this. Mm-hmm. No, this doesn't work for me. This is forced. Yeah. So I'm like, Ryan Johnson.
It was amusing
for like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
but he did it for 5 minutes,
pretty much.
So they decide to get their bombers to attack these capital ships. And mind you, they didn't say anything about these bombs being magnetic or anything like that. But I'm kind of believe, physics dictates you drop something in space. I mean, if you just drop it, it didn't push them. It just let go of them.
What was it? They're weighted.
They're
weighted.
Hear that, folks? Yeah, Did they put weights on?
They put weights on them so they fought. They didn't. Yeah. That's how they felt.
And you know, the character we're supposed to care about, Rose Tico's sister, died doing this, and I'm like, wow, she was more interesting in her 5 seconds of blowing up a capital ship than you were this entire movie. I could not fucking stand that fucking character.
Yeah.
You know, I feel bad for the actress because she catches all kinds of flack, and she's like, oh, I get to be in a Star Wars movie. Yeah, I'd be in a Star Wars movie too. Until you know you look at the title, and you actually got to research your role a little bit. So anyway. Well, then they get away, like parts of him.
I feel like that she was like the scapegoat for most of the hatred.
Yeah. Well,
there were so many more things. Like her character wasn't great, but there were so many more things wrong with this movie.
Absolutely.
And actually, out of the three, this is how bad the other two, in my opinion, are. That the second one
is the worst.
No, I think it's better than all of the other two.
You think The Last Jedi is a better... Oh, I said it a second time. You think this crap-ass movie's better than the other two? Yeah. I disagree, sir.
No,
hey, to each their own.
All right.
So anyway, they get away. All right? They're running, but they're right behind them the whole time. And I'm going to get back to this in another second. Then we cut back to Luke's little hidden... Where he's hidden, okay? He throws... Okay, at this point, they start assassinating Luke Skywalker's character. He threw the lightsaber away... He's chugging on blue titty milk from some kind of space walrus.
That was funny.
Yeah, because he put it in a squeezer bottle and he mean mugged Ray and wiped his mouth with his sleeve after using like a stick that there's no possible way it could have been that long because it was made out of wood. You notice it went all the way down the fucking chasm.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she's gonna do the whole I want to be trained. Oh, you can't be trained. It's the dichotomy scene of Yoda and Luke. From fucking Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, you mean she went away?
Yes.
She went away to get training.
Yes.
From an old Jedi.
And yes. Yeah. Wow. So anyway, and at this point, you see the ships are running away from the First Order, and this is the moment when they mention we're running out of gas. This is the first time I've ever heard in Star Wars. I understand that ships got to run off a power source.
They have fuel,
but this is like the first time ever. Yeah, we're running out of gas. And oh, by the way, we got this character named Holdo, who's a legend that we've never fucking heard of in any other movies. Okay, well, anyway. So Poe is he's trying to figure out what are we doing? What are we going to do? And he starts this insurrection on the ship.
Yep.
And instead of, them being like, we're going to do this, they're like, shut up, we're going to throw you in jail. And, God, I won't let you see this movie once.
You're forgetting a part that came before this.
What was it?
The part where Kylo Ren attacked the ship.
Oh, attacked the ship.
Remember
what I said about scabbing your knee?
Yeah, no, I get it. But you're completely you're pushing past one of like the dumbest parts of this movie was when Kylo Ren blows up the bridge.
He kills Akbar.
Yes.
He kills Admiral fucking Akbar. Yeah. He went out like... Yeah. Okay, look. He is one of the best secondary characters ever, and he has staying power just by saying 3 lines.
Right.
And at that point, you realize she could fly through space.
Well, yeah. First of all, she can hold her breath. She can hold her breath
and survive the temperature.
And the temperature and the pressure or lack of pressure, whatever it is in space. I know that if I thought about it for a second, I could explain it better, but we're not going there.
No.
And then all of a sudden,
Space Leia.
She just reaches out.
And flies.
Flies in, pulls herself with the Force.
Yes.
She has never done anything except for hear her brother's voice in her head on screen. And then we're just supposed to believe that, oh yeah, she got trained. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have mentioned, like, if they would have mentioned in the same fucking movie, they didn't mention it in the same movie. You find that out in the next movie that she got trained and she stopped her training.
Right.
But they didn't mention that at all. It's like, oh, so apparently she has fucking Force powers.
I mean, don't you think that little flashback, they should have put that, I don't know, right before Kylo Ren blew up the thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they just had everything.
It would have made Kylo Ren a more sympathetic character because he, again, comes off like a cry little bitch in this movie, too.
Yeah, he does.
Kylo Ren blows it up. Sorry, I didn't mention it before. You don't talk about traumatic things in your life, and you just don't want to keep talking about it. And Leia survives because she's got space powers.
Yes.
So anyway, and then, Joe, you want to take it from here? I gotta grab my thoughts on this.
So they have to. So they're being chased by another great character that they just pulled out of their ass.
Hux.
Well, no, but that was General Hux. Yeah, no, not him. I'm talking about Snoke.
Snoke, which
Yes.
they showed him a little bit in.
They showed
Force
a
Awakens.
hologram. I thought he was much bigger than
Yeah, I thought he was gonna be like a giant creature.
Yeah,
But
I did too.
obviously he's a stand-in for the fucking Emperor.
Yes. Yeah.
Dude.
It probably a I don't know where he came from.
And
Never
they
heard of-
explained it in the auxiliary. He's a clone of Palpatine,
Oh, like a failed one?
like a failed clone.
Oh, okay.
He was a puppet that he was using. But again, they don't explain this, and you got to read the auxiliary shit to make sense. And I'm like, I understand you're doing this. Isn't world building, man.
No, it was bad. And then they send out, they send Finn and Rose.
Because they got to get don't they got to go onto the ship and disable it because that's chasing them?
Yes, yeah, they have to mask their transponder because every time that they jump to light speed,
They followed them.
They follow them right to the thing.
Well, the thing is, so they called Plot Device, a.k.a. Maz, who is in the middle of a fucking laser battle.
Yes, I mean I think she's still fighting off the Imperials from
That are
when they
still
left
on- they
because I
said-
think that this takes place like 7 to 8 minutes after they escape that planet.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, everything just happens so quick.
Yeah, I've never seen a Star Wars that just jumped right into the next one. It's always been like a little bit of time in between the two. So good
least a
job,
week.
Good job on that, writers and Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
But whatever. And so she gives them hey, go to this casino planet.
Yeah, and find the splicer with this flower on his lapel.
Yeah, this is the only splicer in the galaxy that can do this.
Yep, only one.
Only one. So they go there. And they could have cut this entire fucking scene out of the movie.
Right.
They go to this casino planet. They don't see the guy with the flower. Or they do see him, but
They
don't,
see them, or they see him.
but they don't approach him.
No, they get arrested right
Yes.
before they're able to get to him.
Because dickhead Rose Tico causes a commotion.
Right.
And they get thrown in jail. And next thing you know, you're right next to the collector himself, Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
and he's got a speech impediment.
Yes, it's
It's
but
DJ.
right. And lo and behold, he can do exactly what the guy with the
Only guy in the galaxy
with
that
the,
can do it.
whatever was a lotus blossom or something
The
like
red
that.
lotus blossom.
Yeah, something like that. It was just lame.
Yes. And he's like, but I couldn't do it for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you could actually elaborate on this character, it would have been cool. But they didn't. They didn't. No, I'm going to go splice this. So they sneak aboard the ship.
That's right.
That's right. They sneak aboard the ship. They get this splicer. They escape. Only after freeing a bunch of fucking alpacas with human faces.
Right.
They free all these alpacas.
But, not known to them at the same time that they drop Rey in like an escape pod out of the Falcon.
Uh-huh.
And she gets on Snoke's ship. Yeah. So she's on there too. And then
Why did she go? Because, I forgot. She was touching minds with somebody halfway across the galaxy, untrained, because Luke was only training her a little bit, but then he freaked out because he's like, I felt the dark side in you.
Right. Oh yeah, and then also there's another
backstory.
Yeah, there's more to the Octu Island mystery that they were going through, and they were saying this is why you should have known that she was Palpatine's granddaughter, and all these things is you're supposed to go in and the
Wait a minute, she was Palpatine's granddaughter?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Oh,
I'm joking.
dude, I didn't mean to spoil it. But there's that mirror scene, it was actually all right.
Saw Dark Ray.
Yeah, I mean, she saw a dark side of herself. Okay, cool. And then once again, the story that couldn't tell itself.
No.
There was Ryan Johnson was the horrible director of this.
He's a horrible
Yeah,
director.
so he comes out, or I think one of the writers came out and they explained what was going on there.
If you have to
it was
explain,
like
it's not good
freaking
writing.
3 years ago, or
Right.
it was like 5 years ago,
Right.
And then they just now explain it. It was like, oh, okay, cool.
So Rey
Go back and watch it.
Rey thinks that she can redeem Kylo Ren by simply interacting with him, because you find out why Luke went into Hermitage, because he had a bad thought about his nephew because he felt darkness in him. He redeemed fucking Darth Vader, okay? He wouldn't have done that.
So wait a minute. So wait a minute. So she felt the good in him and then wanted to do that. That's kind of reminds me of another movie.
Kind of my point, yeah.
Oh.
So
once again,
can
we come up with an original thought for
had
3 new movies?
You had all of Legends to choose from.
Sure.
So anyway, Luke talks about his hermitage, why he went into his hermitage, like I just said, and he felt and he was gonna murder his nephew in his sleep. Mind you, he almost got himself killed trying to redeem another family member, his dad.
Right.
So you're saying he's just gonna, oh well, fuck it, I already did this once, I don't want to do this again. No, this is just bullshit writing.
Right.
So at that point was the jumping off point for me for Luke Skywalker in this movie. And I'm like, he's not going to do anything fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I was right. But we'll continue.
Well, and then after basically they have, while the fleet is running out of gas, as they run out of gas, then they get destroyed.
Yes, and then they eject, they get the transponder, they hide the transponder.
Only to be double crossed, which they don't show them the guy double crossing them.
They didn't.
He just double crossed them. No.
Oh yeah.
No
DJ.
story. Yeah, DJ just double crossed them, and that was it.
Yeah, and he had no comeuppance the rest of the series.
Nothing.
No. Like, oh yeah.
He could have got rancored.
He could have got rancored, and also they brought Captain Phasma back just to have her get killed by Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that she had that coming.
She did have that coming. They had an all right fight, but you saw all kinds of shenanigans happen on the ship. The ship ended up blowing up because at the same time Kylo and Rey team up, and that was the only serviceable thing in this fucking movie was that lightsaber
that was
fight.
good.
It was good. I didn't expect Snoke to get fucking cut in half. And it was funny because he's like, I could see in my apprentice's mind what he's doing. And it's like, yeah, he's doing it to you. And that was clever.
Yes,
but you can't. I'm not gonna. If I see a $1 bill in a big pile of dog shit, I'm not gonna reach down there and pull that $1 bill out.
It has to be at least a 20.
At least a 20.
Okay.
Because there's more value.
Yeah.
It's like 20 instances. Okay, it's $21 bills.
There you go.
So anyway, Rey still doesn't join them. The destruction of Luke's lightsaber blows up the room pretty much because they rip it in half because they both want it.
Right.
And they all escape to this planet that looks a lot like Hoth.
Yeah,
because they escaped the resistance ships, not the rebellion ships, escaped out of the escape pods and got to that planet because they were they pulled a ruse on
right.
them. But the one character that I mentioned earlier, Holdo, who was never shown at all,
purple-haired chick,
Laura
right?
Dern,
yes,
fucking Laura Dern, decides to kamikaze the ship into them, and I'm like,
I thought it was a good idea.
It was a great idea, but I'm like,
they should have just did it and ended the whole series
exactly, like
with everybody on board.
Exactly,
and because then we
killed all the high-ranking First Order people.
Yeah, you would just kill them all.
Yeah,
they should have just did that from the very beginning and just screwed the plan, and then just forgot about Episode 9.
So they go to not Hoth because it's salt and it's not snow, and they try to do the fucking Battle of Hoth all over again.
Yeah, it was weird.
But they had these fucking weird like speeder sailboat things that they were skimming on there, and they had like this. The First Order had this fucking cannon that was gonna blow the doors off this fucking old rebellion base.
They called it. I think they called it Death Star Tech or something like that, and it was
clever.
And it was gonna melt the thing, and then they finally show up with some walkers, and you think something cool's gonna happen.
No. And then Finn setting himself up to be like a heroic sacrifice myself on because he really hasn't done shit.
No.
All right. Rose, decides to fucking crash into him and take out like 3 other members of their fucking people attacking this cannon.
That's right.
And this is her, we gotta save the things we love.
Right.
And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you were just the fucking worst. Okay,
It was.
You caused the whole alpaca stampede on that planet too. You could just get the fuck out of here. Anyway, so
okay. So
now you were gonna feel this because this guy is your favorite character, pretty much. I think in all of media, Luke Skywalker.
yeah. Well, okay. So then now they have now they're they're up against it.
Yeah, their backs are against the wall.
They're screwed. And then all of a sudden,
Kylo's in control.
yep, Kylo's got everything going on, and they're about to blast a hole through the shield, the fortress that they're in. And here we go. So Luke shows up, and I'm like, holy shit!
Oh boy,
How'd he get there?
it's like the worst porno ever. But then there's a good payoff. At that moment, I thought, okay, I was like, he's gonna do stuff because they tease that X-wing in the water.
Right,
I'm like, he pulled that shit out.
right,
And now he's gonna go over there.
right.
And
So then Luke shows up. He has a little talk, and I think
he hands her an object.
he hands her Han's dice.
Okay, getting back to that in a minute.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway.
So hands Leia Han's dice, and he's all like, basically like, I got this, and everybody's like, oh my god,
It's Luke Skywalker.
and he just walks out. He just
Boss moment.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I thought it was gonna be great, and then all of a sudden Kylo Ren's like,
I need to face him.
he's like, get me down there. I gotta get down there, and you're like sitting there, and you're like, holy crap, Luke's gonna frickin' do what we've been waiting all this time. Is he's gonna have a badass lightsaber battle in this whole thing.
Yep.
Kylo swipes left, swipes right,
Misses
goes everywhere, misses this. Luke falls back, Matrix style, gets back up, and then he disappears.
No, he gets stabbed, but it goes through
Oh
him.
yeah, that's right. He gets stabbed.
And he smiles at him and he says, "See you around, kid."
Yeah.
And he disappears.
That's right.
Okay, so let's do context here. This was a force power that got introduced in this trilogy where they can project their mind across the galaxy, like an illusion.
Yeah, like
If
it was
he's
like
in a-
astral projection.
Kind of. But if he's an illusion, how did he have matter in his hand and he handed it to Leia?
That's
Dice?
That's
So anyway, we also skipped over the part where fucking Yoda shows up on his sanctuary planet.
very forgettable. Very forgettable.
Very forgettable.
These movies were not good.
Right. Yoda shows up and he supposedly burns all the Jedi text because apparently Force ghosts can manipulate lightning now. I thought they could only guide. Mm-hmm. But apparently they can interact with everything.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I call shenanigans on the whole
fucking movie.
all three movies.
So-
the whole trilogy. Whole trilogy.
So Luke is. It cuts to Luke after he disappears, and he's like floating above where he's sitting, like he's floating Indian style, and he's shaking because he's like, he had cut himself off from the Force. You found out that, but he had reattached to it during the course of the movie, and then he falls, and then he fades.
Right.
And at that moment, I punched the chair in front of me, and that person was very mad at me in the theater, and I said, "I am sorry." And he turned
I'm
around.
sorry that we both had to watch that.
And then he turned around. He's like, "I get it." But no, then they find this back door, and they're like, "Oh, the Resistance is going to live on."
Well, you forgot the Crystal Foxes. They were a cute little part of the movie.
Yes, and so were the Porgs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We forgot the Porg.
The Porgs, and Chewbacca ate one, which I
Yeah.
thought was enjoyable.
Yeah, I thought it was great because I think he ate it in front of the rest of them.
Yeah, they're all looking at him with
Yeah.
it, but then they ended up being his friend because they were all on the ship with him later.
Right. Because they get in everything. They're like roaches.
Yes, but I wouldn't mind a Porg being in my house. So anyway, they escape, and at the very end of the movie, they see one of those kids that were on the casino planet talking about Luke Skywalker. I'm like, he didn't do much.
Right.
And then he holds his hand out, and the broom goes into his hand,
Right.
which was Rian Johnson's way to say, anybody can be the hero of the story.
Oh.
No training, no nothing. You just got to believe.
You just gotta.
Dude, shut up with that noise. And and then we're going to talk about the Rise of Skywalker, which, what can I say about Rise of Skywalker that hasn't already been said about Baghdad? It was forced, it was messy, and it was complete fan service, and I appreciate the effort. I really do. But too little, too late.
Yeah.
You were in the middle of a painted floor and you had nowhere to go. So you know what you did? The opening scroll. The dead speak. Former Emperor Palpatine issues a command across the galaxy that is heard across to everybody.
Yes.
That should have been the line from the first fucking movie, Force Awakens.
Sure.
Yep. And at that time, you know, the Resistance is hiding out in something that looks a lot like fucking Endor. No, I'm sorry. They were doing multiple jumps through hyperspace, and they were saying this is dangerous, and they were like flying through all kinds of crazy shit.
Right.
And then they went to the Resistance planet, and then they actually gave a little backstory on this because they're like, oh, well, Rey's been training with Leia, and then they in this movie, because I'm not going to go during this movie. I'm just going to talk about certain things in it.
Well,
because
I want to talk about the fact that it seemed like while brainstorming for writing this movie, that they threw a bunch of ideas on the board, and then they looked at it and they said, "Fuck it, let's do all of them."
Yes.
And it was like oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Okay, so what are we going to take out of it? Nothing. Let's just leave it all on there.
Right, and have no closure.
Right.
So anyway, they go to not Endor. And you find out Rey's been training with Leia, and later on in the movie you find out that Leia had actually trained with Luke.
Right.
Which makes more sense now with Space Leia, but I never saw Jedis fly through space like that, or even fly, period.
Right.
If you could fly, I mean...
Well, this is another Jedi power that...
They just made up.
There was Plow Koon who could survive in space for a limited time, but that was...
But he had a respirator thing on
No,
his
that
face.
was based on his, like, species.
Right, but...
So he was able to do that for a little bit of time, but, but he wasn't, like, unconscious and, saved himself, last-ditch effort to save his life.
Flying through shrapnel.
Right.
So, anyway, and then... So the whole plot of this movie is getting to Exegol to stop Palpatine, because
I believe it's Exegol.
Exegol.
Yeah.
And mind you, over this time, Palpatine had amassed a giant fucking fleet.
Yeah.
This fleet was huge. I'm like, nobody noticed this. I mean, it was in the unknown region, but still.
Yeah, I was just trying to like looking back at this movie, just obviously. Like, what was the grocery bill like for all those people on all those ships? I mean, where,
right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they just built all those ships on that planet. How?
They refer to it as a Sith fleet.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, oh, so now the Sith are involved in this now.
Right.
So anyway, during the beginning of the movie, he calls out to Kylo Ren to come to him. So, I mean, that makes the most sense because he's a dark side app, and he's like, yeah, you know what? I snowed your grandfather. I can snow you, and you got like an unhealthy fucking hero worship of Vader. So,
sure.
Yeah, so he goes there, and I mean, he actually was searching it out too, because
right.
he heard it. He's found all these, and I like the slow motion fight scenes that they were doing where he was raiding all those areas to get this map.
Right.
So,
once again, this being a very forgettable movie.
Yeah.
You forgot about the festival and finding Lando too.
Yes.
But anyway, go ahead.
No, Lando was after that.
Huh?
Lando was after that.
Was Lando after that?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I am positive because Kylo met Palpatine early on in it.
Oh, that's right. He flew his ship. He had the holocron. He got there.
Yes.
You're right.
He had a Sith holocron.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Because
you know what?
It's easy to forget.
It doesn't matter what order it was in because it was all fucking stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what step you took to step in the dog shit. You still got dog shit on your floor inside.
Yeah, that's right.
So they realize they got to get to Exegol, and they go to multiple planets. They introduce new characters that are just showing up in the last movie, and like, was it like Poe's ex-girlfriend in that one planet when they're like in there looking for everybody?
Yeah.
Because
I liked the little guy. He was funny.
He was funny, but they find out also that they find this knife on that festival planet with Lando that's a Sith. It has Sith reading, and C-3PO actually becomes relevant in this series, in this trilogy. And he's like, "Well, I can read Sith, but I'm not allowed."
Right.
But you're not allowed.
Right.
So they got to hack him.
Right.
Which that makes more sense than half the shit they had in these three movies.
Sure.
So they go there. Oh, and then, of course, Rey thought she killed Chewbacca because she shot Force lightning out of her hands.
Right. Yeah, because...
She knew how to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so So they go there, and like they go to that one planet to find out, and so they find out the location because they hacked C-3PO's mind, and they made it sound like the character was going to die. But all it did was reboot him back to a certain point, and he's like, I don't know them. I know you.
Right.
I know you, but I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Like, well, just be consistent, okay?
Right. It's going to wipe his mind.
It's going to wipe his mind.
But no, wasn't there something stupid that R2 backed him up?
Yeah, it was why I backed him up.
Yeah.
And like, and you know, and I like BB-8 from this trilogy. I thought he was a cool droid.
I did too.
A cool design, and I'm like, you really didn't use BB-8 after this?
No,
after the first one.
Yeah.
So anyway,
big part of the first one.
Yeah, and then they had to go to Endor, which I thought was cool. They showed the wreckage of the Death Star, and they introduced Finn's new girlfriend because nobody gives a fuck about Rose Tico, and because she had like 2 lines in the movie because everybody hated the character.
Right. Yeah, she got Jar Jar'd.
You got Jar Jar'd.
Yeah,
that's another thing now too.
She got Jar Jar'd.
You got Jar Jar'd. You're lucky to get Rancor.
Yep. You got Jar Jar'd out of this movie.
Jar Jar do. So they go there. They have to go inside the throne room of the Death Star, and you know Kylo Ren gets there. He's like, I'm not gonna let you, and he destroyed whatever it was that they were looking for.
Right.
Ray fought him and kicked his ass again.
Right.
But then healed him. Now, is Force heal a thing, Joe? I mean, I'm not as adept as Star Wars.
Well, yeah, it is.
Okay, so she used Force heal because, you know,
it is now.
Because she's been training for 6 months. I don't know how long after
it had to have been at least a month.
The crap Jedi. Yeah. So
Leia knew a lot. Leia knew all that too.
Yeah.
So.
And then they decided to round out the characters.
I think that the problem with this is that we were just supposed to believe that she was so powerful that she could just do whatever she wanted.
Not the case. I've read a lot of Star Wars stuff, and I've seen all the movies, and never has this been the case.
No.
So anyway, she beats Kylo Ren's ass. She almost kills him.
That's right.
And at that moment, and rest in peace, Carrie Fisher, you were awesome. And Princess Leia was a great female character in media. I think they should actually write more female characters like her and not have it forced.
Sure.
Like it was just organic.
Absolutely.
So Leia dies because she senses what's going on with him. And I don't know if she lied to him.
You know, and it was really weird because it kind of was like a throwback to when Padme died because she was so heartbroken.
Weird.
It's really weird that they keep coming back to the other stuff. It's almost like they had no idea what they were doing.
And then the only character that doesn't have force powers shows up as a ghost to Kylo Ren. Not Luke. Not somebody that could feasibly do this because Leia disappeared also.
Right.
Having not been a trained Jedi. Again, get your fucking lore right, all right? So anyway, Han shows up. He's like, hey, kid. And I'm like, well, this is a delight. But no, I'm sorry, man. I mean, that's like, oh, man, Anyway, okay, I'm gonna push forward through this, okay? Because this episode's going a little long, but it's okay. We need to get through this.
Yeah.
It's like pulling off a scab.
Yep.
So anyway.
Yep. So okay, so now let's just fast forward it because so now the holocron's destroyed,
but they find out where to go.
They find out where to go.
No, first off, Mary Sue Ray figures out a path through there, and they follow her.
She used the Force.
That's
right.
I'm sorry, she did use the Force, and she's a Jedi now.
Yes.
Wait a minute. No, she wasn't.
No, she's not a Jedi.
Not even full. Wait a minute. Was Luke a full Jedi when he went?
Well, technically, no.
This sounds a lot like something.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Weird. So they go to Exegol, but before that, we don't have nearly enough firepower to go against that kind of a fleet. I'm like, well, how did you find out about that fleet?
Right.
They never found out about the fleet was a hidden fleet.
Right.
So they decide to, if you're all sick of everything going on.
If you're just sick of it, come on out.
Yes. And there is an enormous fleet.
Bring your poster board and markers and we'll make signs.
And
I can put out a signal. Hopefully someone hears it.
Right. And you know, the thing was, Lando was flying the Millennium Falcon with Chewie.
Yep.
I really want to see that guy there with him again because it would have just been the par for course for this.
Yep.
But They did some. They did. This was fan service too because I saw the ghost from Rebels. So I thought that was
cool.
pretty badass too.
Sure.
But
Also showed up in Rogue One too.
it did show up in Rogue One.
Yeah.
So they go there and you find out that Palpatine wants Rey to kill him, so she can assume a role of a Darth or whatever it was. Which again, I mean,
It just means Dark Lord.
Dark Lord. Yeah, I know what it means. But anyway, by the way, before this happened, after everything happened, his dad's ghost convinces Kylo Ren, hey, I should stop being an emo prick and maybe go help this hot chick that actually gives a fuck about me and stop being a dick because you're the reason your uncle died, your mom died because she's heartbroken, you stabbed your dad in the chest, you're kind of an asshole.
And then like Han knew how to project himself as a Force ghost.
Yeah. So they go there.
That was a good idea.
So, and also this is the first time we see the Knights of Ren.
Yes.
Okay, so they go there, and Kylo comes and saves Rey from turning dark or dying.
Well, no, she resists Palpatine, who actually looks very like Hellraiser-ish.
Yes, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was all right.
And then there's all these ghosts of Sith Lords around, and I thought that was a cool part. But there was like cut scenes. I found out that like they were going to bring in all the actors to come in as Force ghosts and attack the Sith, like a big like ghost battle. I'm like, that would have actually brought it up a notch for me.
Maybe,
but they probably would have fucked it up.
Yeah.
So anyway,
they probably wouldn't have had like lightsabers. They probably would have just been like Force pushing things and stuff. So
then they go to the whole concept is they go there and Rey and Kylo's bond somehow makes this degrading clone of the Emperor get healed. And he's super fucking juiced up, and he just starts wiping out all the ships above by shooting Force lightning in the air. And they're like, we don't know what's going on. I got an idea. There's lightning bolts coming from the ground.
Right. Yeah, no, it was dumb.
Yeah, and during the fight, Kylo Ren, being useless as he usually is, gets thrown over a cliff, but he doesn't die.
Right.
And Rey holds up the two lightsabers and does the same thing that fucking Mace Windu did to the Emperor in the Revenge of the Sith, but to the max.
Right.
And he burns up.
Right.
And the day is saved.
Right.
But
yes, there's that whole but.
But they couldn't just leave it at that, right? No. The exertion was too much for Rey. She sacrificed her life and died. But then Kylo knows how to, I don't know.
He knows how to Force heal too.
He knows how to Force heal too, even though he's been a dark side Adam since he was a fucking teenager.
That's right.
Comes over and gives his life for Rey. Tear.
It was very noble.
Very noble. From a guy that was just complete shit in all three movies.
Yeah, but he changed his outfit, man. He he looked very Skywalker-esque.
Yes.
No,
yeah, absolutely.
He had the gauze bandage boots. Everything was
the gauze bandage boots.
He had gauze bandage boots.
That's why it's like Jim Tan laundry.
Gauze bandage boots.
Yeah. So, end of the movie, you see them back, because Rey just loves fucking sand planets. She's on Tatooine.
Yeah.
She's squatting at the Skywalker.
No. She wasn't squatting.
No, I'm sorry.
She just went there.
No, she went there and assumed their fucking name.
Oh, right. Well,
yeah.
After that, and then she dropped their
lightsabers
into the sand, and then it was like close end scene, end trilogy. Holy shit.
What did I do with 7 hours of my life?
Yeah, that is like the end of the biggest pile of shit I have ever seen. All in all, I think it was garbage.
It was hot garbage.
It shouldn't have been made.
No.
There were so many better stories that they could have done, and yet...
You had all of Legends. They
could have picked something good.
Heir to the Empire would have been amazing.
Yeah, sure. Dark Force Rising, Last Command, anything that you would have done, all that Champions of the Force novel, they could have done everything.
Yes.
And not everything, they could have done anything. In this one, they did everything, but they did it all wrong. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give it,
a big Steve.
I wish I had more thumbs to give down.
Yeah. Well, everybody out there, we want to thank you for listening to us rant about 3 terrible movies.
Yeah.
That had such promise, such hope, and really killed the franchise. It's only getting back on its feet because of people like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni who put good content out there and managed to overthrow the Darth Kennedy.
Yes.
So we want to thank to those two guys. Thank you for being true fans and listening to other fans as well. And we want to thank our fans out there. Please smash the like button.
Yeah, like and subscribe. We eventually want to start getting paid for this shit.
You can follow us on Facebook. We are on Spotify, Google. You can find us in Google Podcasts as well as Apple Podcasts, and on Amazon Podcasts. So we will talk to you guys later.